Nestled deep within the heart of the countryside, where the rolling hills embraced the horizon in a gentle caress, stood the Enchanted Forest, a place of mystery and dread that had remained untouched by the hands of time. It was shrouded in an aura of secrecy, veiled by centuries of folklore that warned of the perilous tales that lay within its emerald depths. The locals, with a mix of trepidation and awe, spoke of it in hushed whispers, fearful of the supernatural forces they believed dwelled among its ancient trees. As the golden rays of the sun filtered through the verdant canopy, casting ethereal shadows on the forest floor, a cacophony of unseen creatures hummed their otherworldly symphony. Birds perched on branches sang haunting melodies that echoed like spectral whispers through the woods. The air, thick with the scent of earth and decay, bore witness to 1,000 stories of wandering souls and restless spirits said to roam the forest at night. It was a place where reality blurred into the realm of the supernatural, leaving a distinct impression that the ordinary laws of nature held no dominion here. Generations had passed since the first cautionary tale of the Enchanted Forest was uttered, but its allure never waned, nor did the belief that it was a cursed sanctuary, protected by vengeful entities who sought to maintain its enigmatic aura. Countless accounts of brave souls who dared to venture into the forest and returned with fear-stricken eyes only added to its mystique. Some spoke of inexplicable phenomena, of vanishing footsteps and haunting whispers that seemed to follow them long after they had fled the wooded abyss. In the stillness of twilight, the forest assumed an eerie charm, as if a sinister enchantress had woven a spell to ensnare the hearts of those who gazed upon its bewitching beauty. The trees, ancient sentinels standing tall and proud, seemed to lean closer to one another, weaving an intricate tapestry of interlocking branches that appeared as though they held whispered secrets in their grasp. Even the bravest souls found themselves unnerved by the thought of penetrating the forest's treacherous embrace, fearing they might never return. The tales of the Enchanted Forest passed from one generation to the next, each rendition embellishing the terror and allure, becoming an integral part of the region's folklore. With every retelling, the forest seemed to grow larger and more ominous, its legend seeping into the core of the community's consciousness, permeating their dreams with haunting visions of spectral beings and ghostly apparitions. Yet, despite the warnings and the shivers that ran down their spines, there were always those like Amelia, curiosity-driven souls with a longing for adventure, who couldn't resist the allure of the forbidden woods. Drawn by a mix of skepticism and fascination, they embarked on perilous journeys to uncover the truth behind the legends, to face the unseen forces that dwelled within the heart of the Enchanted Forest, and perhaps, if they were lucky, to emerge with a tale that would echo in the annals of time. As Amelia delved deeper into the forest, the air grew colder, and the silence was unsettling. The dense foliage seemed to swallow every sound, muffling her footsteps as she continued her intrepid journey. Her heart pounded with a mix of excitement and trepidation, for she knew that she was treading on the threshold of an otherworldly realm, one where the living and the dead intertwined. One night, as the moon hung low in the ink-black sky, casting an ethereal glow over the forest, Amelia settled by her crackling campfire, its warm light dancing in the shadows. She couldn't shake the feeling that the woods were watching her, that she was not alone in the vast expanse of darkness surrounding her. The chilling breeze carried a haunting melody that pierced the silence, resonating through the very core of her being. The sweet, melancholic tune was so enchanting that it sent shivers down her spine. Its melody was familiar, yet unknown, like a half-remembered dream that eluded her grasp. Mesmerized by the haunting sound, she rose from her campfire's embrace, the ethereal melody guiding her steps through the labyrinth of trees and foliage. It was as if the forest itself was leading her to the source of the beguiling tune. Guided by an unseen force, she followed the spectral melody, its enchantment growing stronger with every step. The forest seemed alive with an ancient magic, and Amelia felt like a mere pawn in a game played by forces far beyond her understanding. She couldn't turn back, an unquenchable curiosity compelled her onward, urging her to uncover the truth behind the ghostly music. The melody led her to a clearing bathed in moonlight, a sacred space untouched by time. And there, amidst the dappled moonbeams, stood an old, dilapidated cabin, half hidden behind gnarled roots and thick foliage. The cabin seemed to have withstood the ages, its faded timbers a testament to the passage of time and the secrets it held within its decaying walls. Approaching with a mixture of trepidation and fascination, Amelia pushed open the creaking door, its hinges protesting as if guarding the cabin's ancient mysteries. As she stepped inside, the haunting melody grew louder, filling the air with an ethereal presence that sent goosebumps down her arms. The room was dimly lit by flickering candlelight, casting eerie shadows on the walls that seemed to dance in rhythm with the haunting tune. In the center of the room, a grand piano stood, its ebony and ivory keys gleaming like skeletal fingers beckoning her closer. To her astonishment, the piano played itself, keys moving with ghostly precision, as if guided by an invisible pianist. It was then that Amelia understood she was not alone in this cabin. The haunting melody was not a mere figment of her imagination, it was the soulful lament of a lost spirit. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed, and a cold gust of wind blew through the cabin, extinguishing the flickering candles. The room was plunged into darkness, and Amelia's heart pounded in her chest. She was not alone. From the shadows emerged the ghostly figure of a sorrowful pianist named Edgar, his translucent form swaying in time with the haunting music. Edgar's eyes were filled with an eternal sadness that seemed to penetrate Amelia's very soul. He spoke in whispered tones, his voice echoing with a longing for release from his otherworldly prison. He revealed that he had been a renowned musician who foolishly ventured into the Enchanted Forest to seek inspiration for his magnum opus. But the forest had other plans, ensnaring him in its malevolent grasp. Every time he attempted to escape, the forest would draw him back, forcing him to play the haunting melody that had entranced Amelia from the very beginning. His soul was bound to the cursed instrument, and he could never find peace until the melody was broken. Amelia's heart ached with compassion for the tormented spirit before her. Determined to help him find release, she vowed to uncover the secret of the haunting melody and break the curse that bound him to the piano. Together, they would confront the enigmatic forces that resided within the heart of the Enchanted Forest, for their fates were now inexplicably intertwined. Inside the cabin, Amelia discovered an old, dusty grand piano that seemed to exude an air of melancholy. Its once pristine surface was now marred by the passage of time, and its keys bore the faint marks of countless fingers that had danced across them in ages past. Amelia approached the instrument with a mixture of reverence and trepidation, feeling a peculiar energy emanating from it, as if it held the memories and sorrows of countless souls within its very core. As she reached out to touch the keys, a sudden chill ran down her spine, causing her hand to tremble ever so slightly. The piano came alive once more, its keys moving of their own accord, creating a haunting melody that reverberated throughout the cabin. Amelia gasped in awe and fear, realizing that she was not alone in the presence of this spectral pianist. The apparition of a sorrowful man materialized before her very eyes, his translucent form flickering like a candle in the wind. He introduced himself as Edgar, the ill-fated pianist who had become forever bound to the cursed instrument. His story unfolded like a tragic opera, filled with lost dreams and a longing for redemption. Edgar revealed that he had once been a celebrated musician, renowned for his unparalleled talent and heart-stirring compositions. However, plagued by an insatiable desire to create his magnum opus, he had succumbed to the allure of the Enchanted Forest. He believed that the mystical woods held the key to unlocking his true potential and composing a symphony that would transcend time itself. Little did he know that the forest's allure was but a clever ruse, a siren's call luring him into its treacherous depths. As Edgar delved further into the heart of the Enchanted Forest, the whispers of malevolent spirits grew louder, their sinister voices intertwining with the music that played endlessly in his mind. The forest's cursed nature revealed itself, ensnaring him in an unbreakable grip. He found himself unable to escape its clutches, as if invisible chains bound him to the piano. Every time he tried to leave the forest, an unseen force drew him back, compelling him to play the haunting melody that echoed through the woods, a lamentation of his lost dreams. Amelia listened with bated breath as Edgar recounted his eternal struggle. A prisoner of the cursed piano, he yearned for liberation from the malevolent spirits that tormented him. The weight of his sorrow weighed heavily on her heart, and she couldn't help but empathize with his plight. Edgar's translucent form seemed to flicker with each note he played, his spectral fingers dancing across the keys with ethereal grace. The melancholic melody filled the cabin, seeping into Amelia's very soul, and she felt an inexplicable bond forming with this tortured spirit. She was now an unwilling witness to the tragic symphony of his existence, and the burden of his story weighed upon her like a leaden shroud. Amelia knew that the Enchanted Forest held untold secrets, and Edgar's tale was but one thread in the tapestry of mysteries that lay within its enigmatic heart. As she vowed to help him find a way to break free from the cursed piano, she felt an unshakable determination surging within her. She couldn't turn her back on this tormented soul, not when they were both entangled in the web of the forest's malevolence. United by an unspoken bond, Amelia and Edgar resolved to confront the unseen forces that held them captive, to unravel the enigma of the Enchanted Forest, and to seek redemption for the countless lost souls that wandered its shadowy realms. They knew that their journey ahead would be perilous, fraught with unforeseen dangers and supernatural entities beyond mortal comprehension. As they set out into the heart of the forest, the woods seemed to stir with anticipation, as if sensing the intrusion of these audacious souls. The trees loomed taller, their branches intertwined like gnarled fingers reaching out to ensnare any intruders. Whispers echoed through the foliage, carrying hints of the forest's ancient secrets and the malevolence that lurked within. Despite the chilling aura that surrounded them, Amelia and Edgar pressed on, their resolve unwavering. They ventured deeper into the heart of the Enchanted Forest, guided by an instinctive pull toward the epicenter of its cursed power. With every step they took, the melody of the cursed piano followed them like a melancholic echo, a constant reminder of the journey they had embarked upon and the stakes that hung in the balance. Together, they would face the unseen forces that ruled over the enchanted woods, knowing that their lives, and the fate of countless others, depended on their courage and determination to break the curse that bound them to the haunting melody of the grand piano. The Enchanted Forest had held its secrets for centuries, but now, in the union of two souls bound by a shared destiny, its enigmatic veil would be lifted, and the truth would be unveiled, no matter how chilling or horrifying it might be. As Amelia and Edgar ventured deeper into the heart of the Enchanted Forest, the air seemed to thicken with an ominous presence, as if the very essence of the woods conspired against their intrusion. The once faint whispers that danced on the edges of their senses grew louder and more persistent, an unsettling chorus of voices from beyond the veil of mortality. The forest itself appeared to take on a life of its own, with branches contorting and reaching out like skeletal fingers, seemingly attempting to halt their progress. The ground beneath their feet shifted, creating a labyrinth of roots that seemed to guide them deeper into the forest's malevolent embrace. Amelia couldn't help but feel that the woods were a sentient entity, a guardian of ancient secrets determined to keep intruders trapped within its cursed domain. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows over the forest floor, the temperature plummeted. Goosebumps prickled on Amelia's skin as an icy breath brushed against her cheek. She glanced at Edgar, whose ghostly form appeared more translucent than before, as if the malevolent forces were siphoning his ethereal essence. A cold dread crept into her heart. She feared that the forest might be draining him of the very energy that bound him to the cursed piano. Their journey took them to a clearing surrounded by towering trees that seemed to loom ominously overhead, closing in as if to trap them within an inescapable prison. The haunting melody grew louder, almost deafening, resonating through the woods like a lamentation of the forest's tormented soul. Amelia could feel the weight of the forest's sorrow pressing down upon her, a heavy burden that threatened to consume her with despair. Unseen forces swirled around them, manifesting as ethereal wisps of light that danced just beyond the edge of their vision. Whispers filled the air, their voices a cacophony of sorrow, rage, and desperation. The spirits of the Enchanted Forest seemed to converge around Amelia and Edgar, drawn to their presence like moths to a flame. Yet, amid the darkness and foreboding, a glimmer of hope flickered within Amelia's heart. She believed that they could break the curse, release the tormented souls, and bring peace to the Enchanted Forest. Her resolve deepened as she thought of the countless lives that had been lost to the malevolence of the woods, and the souls forever trapped in its haunting grasp. With each step they took, the forest's aura shifted, transforming from a menacing darkness to a haunting beauty. Moonlight filtered through the canopy, casting an ethereal glow upon the flora and fauna. Amelia marveled at the surreal scene, the juxtaposition of the forest's eerie atmosphere with its enchanting allure. It was as if the Enchanted Forest sought to ensnare visitors with its allure, only to reveal its malevolent nature once they had crossed its threshold. As they journeyed further, they encountered wisps of ghostly figures floating among the trees, their faces contorted in agony and despair. These spectral apparitions seemed to moan and lament, their sorrow echoing through the woods like a mournful dirge. Amelia couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of empathy for these lost souls, as if their sorrow was seeping into her very soul. The forest's unseen forces toyed with their minds, creating illusions that blurred the line between reality and nightmare. At times, Amelia couldn't discern if the figures before her were spectral entities or tricks of the shadow. It was as if the forest itself sought to drive her to the brink of madness, testing her resolve and her sanity. Yet, through the chilling veil of uncertainty, Amelia remained steadfast, finding strength in the bond she had formed with Edgar. His presence, though ethereal, gave her courage, a reminder that they were not alone in their fight against the malevolent forces. As they pressed forward, their determination grew, fueled by a shared purpose, to break the curse that held the forest captive and to bring salvation to the souls that had suffered for centuries. With each passing moment, the Enchanted Forest seemed to react to their intrusion, as if the balance of power between darkness and light teetered on a precipice. The haunting melody of the cursed piano reached its crescendo, shaking the very foundations of the woods. The spectral wisps swirled around them, their mournful cries intensifying, yet, amid the chaos, Amelia felt an inexplicable surge of energy, a glimmer of hope that their quest might succeed. Their resolve now unshakable, Amelia and Edgar faced the heart of the forest's malevolence, the epicenter of its dark power, a place where the line between the living and the dead blurred, and where the secrets of the Enchanted Forest would finally be unveiled. What lay ahead was a confrontation with the very essence of evil, a test of their courage and resilience against an ancient force that had held the forest in its malevolent grip for far too long. As they stood on the threshold of this final battle, Amelia knew that they were about to confront the most harrowing chapter of their journey, an encounter that would demand the ultimate sacrifice, but one that could also bring salvation to the tormented souls trapped in the Enchanted Forest's cursed embrace. Driven by her journalistic spirit and the unbreakable bond she had formed with the tormented pianist, Amelia persisted despite the mounting dangers that surrounded them. The Enchanted Forest seemed to resist their advance, and the air was thick with an overwhelming sense of malevolence, as if the very trees sought to choke the life out of intruders daring to challenge its cursed domain. The haunting melody of the cursed piano reached a crescendo, filling the woods with an eerie symphony that seemed to echo through time itself. Amelia felt the weight of its sorrow in her heart, an ethereal lament that tugged at her very soul. Yet, amid the overwhelming despair, she found strength in Edgar's presence. He was her anchor, a guiding light in the suffocating darkness. As they delved deeper into the heart of the Enchanted Forest, the spectral figures became more numerous, a procession of lost souls drawn to the aura of hope that Amelia and Edgar carried with them. Their translucent forms floated around the duo, their mournful cries now interspersed with whispers of gratitude, as if they sensed the potential for salvation in Amelia's selfless determination. Every step brought them closer to the epicenter of the malevolent force, the entity that had ruled over the forest and ensnared its souls for centuries. Amelia knew that the final confrontation lay ahead, and she steeled herself for what lay beyond. This was the defining moment, the turning point that could break the curse or forever condemn them to the mercy of the forest's malevolence. The forest seemed to pulsate with an eerie luminescence, its haunting beauty and sinister aura now intertwined, creating an ethereal dance of light and shadow. Amelia and Edgar stood at the precipice of the unknown, facing the very embodiment of darkness, a malevolent entity that thrived on the sorrow and fear that permeated the woods. The entity's form was amorphous, a shifting mass of shadows and malevolence that seemed to draw its power from the souls it had ensnared. Its eyes, voids of darkness, bore into Amelia's very being, seeking to devour her resolve and extinguish the flicker of hope that burned within her heart. But Amelia remained unyielding, refusing to be paralyzed by fear, for she knew that this was her chance to break the curse and liberate the Enchanted Forest from its malevolent grip. The entity's voice echoed like 1,000 whispers, a symphony of darkness that reverberated through the woods. It taunted Amelia, attempting to prey upon her doubts and insecurities, but she found strength in the memories of the souls she had encountered. Their despair had become her determination, their sorrow her resolve. As the malevolent entity lunged forward, Amelia felt an overwhelming surge of power within her, the collective energy of the tormented souls that had found solace in her presence. She stood her ground, unleashing an ethereal light from within, a beacon of hope that pushed back against the encroaching darkness. In a battle of wills, the forest itself seemed to hold its breath, as if waiting for the final outcome of this cosmic confrontation. Amelia and the malevolent entity clashed in a torrent of energy, their struggle manifesting as a dance of light and shadow, their very essence intertwined in a desperate fight for control. Amelia's heart pounded, her breaths ragged as she drew upon every ounce of strength she possessed. The stakes were high. The victory meant salvation for the countless souls bound to the Enchanted Forest, while defeat would plunge them deeper into the abyss of despair. Her determination became a fierce fire, and with every heartbeat, the ethereal light within her intensified. With a deafening roar, the malevolent entity recoiled, its form flickering like a dying flame. It seemed weakened, its malevolence tempered by the collective strength of the souls it had sought to enslave. Sensing its vulnerability, Amelia pressed on, unrelenting in her pursuit of victory. In a final, desperate gambit, the entity made a chilling offer, a twisted pact that promised the release of the trapped souls if Amelia surrendered herself to its clutches. Her heart wavered, torn between the desire to save the souls and the fear of losing herself to the darkness. But Amelia's resolve held firm, and with a selflessness that transcended mortal limits, she made the ultimate sacrifice. In an act of courage and love, she willingly offered herself as a vessel to absorb the malevolence of the forest's curse, to become one with the Enchanted Forest and the tormented souls that dwelled within. As she merged with the essence of the forest, her spirit intertwined with the ethereal energy of the lost souls, her consciousness expanding to encompass the sorrow and joy of every wandering spirit. In this profound moment of sacrifice, Amelia became one with the Enchanted Forest, a guardian of its secrets and a guiding light for the souls who had once been lost. The malevolent entity's power waned, subdued by the strength of Amelia's sacrifice. It slithered back into the darkness, defeated by an act of selflessness that it could never comprehend. The Enchanted Forest, once a prison of malevolence, was now bathed in a newfound aura of redemption, its ancient curse broken by an act of pure love and courage. As the moon bathed the woods in silvery light, a soft, melancholic melody echoed through the air, a song of sorrow and hope, a tribute to the bravery of Amelia and the souls that had found release. The Enchanted Forest was forever changed, a place where the line between the living and the dead blurred, where courage and selflessness transcended the bounds of mortality, and where the power of love had triumphed over darkness. Amelia's tale became a legend, passed down through generations, a testament to the courage and selflessness that could triumph over darkness. And though she was lost to the world, her spirit remained forever entwined with the Enchanted Forest, whispering a warning to those who dared to tread its haunted grounds. The price of redemption, the cost of breaking a curse, was a sacrifice beyond compare, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of love.